Hi, welcome to Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, we're over in our vacation on Dumaguete, but before we left we did a video on Liselle, the lady who suffered a miscarriage, and then after we'd helped her, she was seen on a video elsewhere partying and having a great time, which there's nothing wrong with that. And we're not complaining about it, we're happy for her. But then, having made that party video, she came over to us and was crying for help. Of course, I must confess that we made a video saying of the meeting, as we do of everything, so that we can show that story. Couldn't help but resist to ask her the obvious question, which many of our subscribers, you guys, have asked, and that is, how come she's partying and laughing out loud with her friend and friends over on the other side, but then when she is feeling ill health and nowhere to turn, she comes to us and asks for our help. She actually was embarrassed about that, and she said that she felt shamed because she felt that she had been... So she admitted she felt some shame, the fact that she had gone over to the other side, and that she thought that there was some competition between us and that other channel. Well, the fact is that there isn't any competition, because we are actually helping people, and the other side seemed to be good at turning it down, which is what Liselle found. That it was one thing to be making videos for them, but actually she couldn't turn to them when she needed help. Now, we had a lot of different comments on this, and a lot of them said, hey, tell her to go and help and get help from her other friends. This is the point about this. We felt the same initially, but the fact that she did what she did doesn't alter the basic fact that she is in trouble and badly needs help, not just for herself but for her family. Now, a lot of what you said was very pertinent, was really applicable, appropriate, but we always said that our mission was not to judge people and to judge rights and wrongs of every case. We don't consider that that's our job. Our job in the beginning was to show what ordinary life is like. And then, boy, that took us on a rocket ride about finding out what ordinary life is like. And here in the Philippines, sometimes ordinary life is tough. Well, what did we decide to do? We decided that we would tell the stories. We told the stories without judgment as to whether the person should receive help. And then we left it up to you subscribers to, if you wanted to gift and direct the use of that gift in a particular place, person, then you were the judge of the rights and wrongs of a person's appeal for help. So that brings us to Liselle. We gave Liselle's story, and regardless of the feelings of many, two people came up and said the same as what I've just said, and that is, it's one thing to judge, but it's another thing to look and see whether the person actually needs help. And then it's your choice. It's not for us. We're not the judges, we're not the heroes, we are simply the messengers, if you want to put it that way. And the message comes through on each individual story. When we made the story of Desiree, you came up and you told us what you felt. And when we wanted to show that the three little girls as it became the 4 little girls, needed desperately a house, you showed us what you thought by giving us the money to be able to build that house, as with the paralyzed man. Now, we don't do everything right. We're not saying that at all. Nor are we justifying that we don't do everything right. Sometimes we disagree and we listen. For instance, someone has just become very offended because he said, "Why do you choose these titles which are offensive, like crippled Filipina and paralyzed man? These are not," in other words, he's saying they're not politically correct. And yet he calls himself the black American expat. And in some ways that would be offensive in the US, because black people there call themselves, politically, they call themselves African American. So it's a choice of words. Why do I choose those? I answered him, because I'm not you. And that wasn't meant to give him offense. It was meant only to show that we are all different and we all make our choices. Now, why do I make the choices that I make? Why does Beth join with me in making these choices? Because we're not you, and there's no offense intended there. And I hope that you will understand this. Now, we get other inquiries from people who have declared themselves our enemy. In one particular case, Johnny Wally. Well, Johnny Wally got up and had an interview live where he declared that I am a scammer and that I take 50% of everything that is sent to us. How could he prove this? Well, let me tell you. I offered to go to a cop shop with him, and I'll go with my toothbrush, and he can show his evidence, and I'll hand myself in. He didn't do that, and now, just like a friend, he says, "Terence, I'm interested to know what will happen with the DSWD interview." Well, Mr. Johnny, you're a Johnny. Now, Liselle, are we going to judge whether she should get the help or not? No, because that was never our intention. We tell the story, we leave it to you to decide whether something touches you enough to be able to part with some of your hard-earned money, as many of you do in the most wonderful way. Well, within 24 hours, after showing Liselle's present situation, regardless of the fact that some people had seen all of the other showing of that video, the happy video, and then they see the sad video and they judge that she should not receive any help. Part of me says, you're right. And part of me says, it was never our intention to say yes or no to help. We would tell the story and let you decide. And 2 incredibly generous people did decide, and they sent the money to be able to buy a Carabao. And because they told us that's what they wanted us to do, that's what we're going to do. So that's the purpose of this video, is to reaffirm the way that we work. And how will you know that we've done that? We'll make a video and we'll title it whatever appeals to us. And it may not be you, and it may not be your kind of title, but it's what we do. And we can't call you up and say, do you think that this will be okay? Because we have to make our own judgments and our own decisions. And this was our decision. Whatever those 2 people want, and we will acknowledge them later, I'm making this without having that information to me, we'll do what they wanted us to do, and we will help that woman. because she is still sickly, she still has a child, she still lives in a very, very difficult situation, and she still has a disabled husband. So she's going to get the help that she needs, because that's what we've been told to do. Hope you can agree with this, and if not, I'm sorry. Later there may be something that you do agree with that someone else doesn't. So, this is a foreigner in the Philippines. Thanks for your support. Beth, is there something I should have said that I haven't?
Yeah, so next week we're going to negotiate for a carabao and hand the carabao to them while Terence is riding it.
I'm going to ride the carabao.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, thank you so much. Who's that, hon? I think thank you so much, Sir Chris and Sir Noel, for sending
Sir
that,
Chris
yeah,
and Sir Noel.
yeah, for sending gifts
Thanks,
to buy
guys.
the carabao.
Thanks, guys. Regardless of anything, I'm very grateful that you've put me in a position where I have to ride a carabao.
Thank you.
This is a foreigner in the Philippines.